If you hate the color yellow, this video is not for you. Hi, I'm Alex, and this is Pucks and Paperbacks, and welcome to the Amazing Readathon. This was created by Brianna over at 4 Paws in a Book, and all of the information will be down below. It is a monthly readathon, and it is inspired by the show The Amazing Race. And if you know me, I love readathons, I love games, and competitions and things like that. So Team Yellow for the win. For the past couple weeks since this readathon was announced, I compiled a list of all of my yellow books, and I am going to read yellow books for the month of August. This is just a weekly reading vlog, but I am super excited. The first prompt just dropped, so let's go over to my computer so I can react to it. Oh my god, she's wearing the Strand book shirt. That's one of my favorite bookstores. So I've actually never seen The Amazing Race, but I know the gist of it. And so we are going to different locations, and the first location is New York. Now, that doesn't have to do with your book or anything. The sole purpose is to get as many points. So these points are going to help you travel to the different destinations, which is really what The Amazing Race is all about. And so I am on the yellow team, and I will get 50 extra points if I read books with yellow on the cover, a translated work, a host rec, or a book by a person of color. Actually, New York is the best place to start because it is so bookish. Like, a lot of books are set there, and also we just have a lot of publishing companies there.
The city's publishing industry employs over 25,000 people. New York publishing companies have produced some of the most famous books in history. And the city's publishing industry is a vital part of the local economy. It plays a major role in the city's cultural identity. The clue for the first leg of the race is going to be in a book by one of the big 5 publishers.
Yo, that's a good one. That's easy. She did say they're gonna be vague. I like that. Also, the currency is based around how many pages you read, so if I read a 300-page book, I have $300, or GRC, I think is what we're calling it. Okay, if we're playing this the real deal, I live in Pennsylvania, so I could just take a bus. I don't have to take a car. You could walk for free. I mean, that would take me a long time to get there. I wonder if you could take the ferry from New Jersey to New York. Probably not, but... So the book I will be starting with is If You Change Your Mind by Robby Weber, which actually is published by Inkyard Press, RIP. They're actually closing, which is so heartbreaking. And this is an imprint of HarperCollins, and it just pains me because it is such a great press. They have published so many great diverse stories for queer people, for people of color, and it is just a damn shame that they are no longer going to be with us, and it just sucks. I love that press so much, and so here's to them with this book. And I've been wanting to read Robby's book for a while, so I'm super excited to start with it. And it has yellow on the cover, so I will end up getting some extra points. And so this will be my first read. You cannot start your first read until then, which is fine because I have a couple books I need to finish up for another vlog. So I will see you back here on Tuesday. Happy Friday! I am very behind on this readathon. I started my first book yesterday because I still had another book to finish that I was reading in July, and I just didn't get a chance to finish it, so I finished it yesterday. I am 30 pages into If You Change Your Mind, and I'm really enjoying it. This is a summer rom-com about a boy named Harry who is writing a screenplay, and his dreams are to get into USC, and he loves superhero movies. His goal for the summer is to finish the screenplay and to not have any romance. But in a rom-com, we both know that's not going to happen because his ex just showed up. I'm really excited to read more of this. I will say, I have been reading a lot of YA recently. Not that I don't do that already, but for some videos I've been reading a lot of YA. Is it just me, or are they super long now? Because this book is 380 pages. The last one I read was like 350. For this readathon, the longer books actually work in my favor for the currency, but I don't want to read a long book. But honestly, I think that this is going to be a really quick read, so I'm excited to read more of it. The second prompt just dropped, so I'm gonna head over to Discord and find out what it is. We did get a Detour, which I didn't film, but these are little challenges that you can do during the week. And so for this, it was either to post about some books on your TBR or write a review for the latest book you read. So I went with review, and I reviewed the last book I read, Everyone Hates Kelsey Miller, which I read for the other vlog that I'm doing.
Welcome to Mexico City. Mexico City is a city of contrast with a rich history and culture, and it's home to some absolutely stunning, remarkable architecture. These buildings are a testament to the city's past and present, and they are sure to leave a lasting impression on any visitor for the foreseeable future. If you're looking for a city with rich history, culture, and cuisine, your clue is going to be in a book with a beautiful cover. This book is vague, and it's going to be something that's very personal to you. If you think that the cover is beautiful, it counts. There is no need to tell.
So I have plenty of time to think about what a beautiful book is to me, but I am going to continue reading If You Change Your Mind. I have to get some work done, and then I will be reading for the rest of the night and the weekend. It is 7:30 on Saturday, and I have made it to New York City. I finished my first book, If You Change Your Mind by Robby Weber. I have been reading all day and I really enjoyed it, so I'll give you a little review in a second, but I made it to New York. I took a car, my car broke down, and now I'm finally here. However, everybody else is on the road and most are already to our next destination, Mexico City. So I'll be switching over to my Kindle and reading the indie romance For the Record, I Hate You by Amanda Gambill, and this completes the prompt to read a book with a beautiful cover. So far, so good. I'm a little intimidated by this book because it's 390 pages and I'm just like, why is a romance that long? Why is any book that long? And that is just because my brain cannot read that fast. I am a slow reader and you know, slow and steady wins the race. But I'm also very competitive and I like competition. I love hockey, so I love all of the high intense energy in a game. So I want to bring that to this readathon, but I am just a slow reader and that's totally fine. So I'm excited to continue with this readathon. I'm having a lot of fun. There's a lot of reading sprints which have really helped me, and the fact that it's the weekend has also really helped. But right now I'm taking a little break. I might bake some brownies. I don't want to burn myself out and I kind of feel that happening, so I really need to take my time, but I can't take too much time because you can't be comfortable in a competition like this. Disclaimer, it's all for fun, but I am just competitive. So I'm going to bake some brownies, watch an episode of a show, and then I will get on with the book for Mexico City. But first, let's talk about If You Change Your Mind. First and foremost, I have been following Robby on Bookstagram for quite a while, probably since he started his Bookstagram, and this book just screams Robby. I can really tell he put his heart and soul and a lot of his personality into this book. There's odes to Taylor Swift and a lot of 80s movies and Marvel. He's a big Spider-Man fan, and I could really see a lot of him in this book just from what I know about him from Instagram, but I really enjoyed this. It is following Harry, who lives in Florida, and it is his summer. This is a YA rom-com following Harry Kensington. Harry has a lot of goals this summer. He doesn't want any romance. He wants to submit his screenplay to this competition to be able to get into USC, which is one of his really big goals. And senior year is coming up, so he really wants to get into USC. It is his dream school, and it's the only school he wants to get into. However, his plans change when two boys enter his life, an ex and a new guy, and I really enjoyed the messiness of his character. If you've been following me for a while, I love messy queer characters, and Harry is that. I really loved seeing his character development, and I was rooting for him during this book. I also really liked the family dynamics. I don't like to usually compare queer books, especially with a gay main character, as Simon vs. the Homo Sapiens Agenda, but if you like Becky Albertalli's writing style and the fluffiness of her stories and characters, This is a really good comp title, and if you've read Always the Almost by Edward Underhill, that has a really messy character, and I can see a lot of similarities from that character development and a lot of the plot in this book, but this one is just set on a beach. I really enjoyed this. It was a really great debut. I also like how it talks about superheroes. I don't see that in books a lot, especially YA. Harry is writing a superhero gay romance, and that was just so cool. Honestly, I wish we had a book like that. I know we kind of do, but I really want the screenplay to be a thing. This really did feel like a movie to me, and I really enjoyed it. I really hope this gets adapted one day because it would be a really great movie. Seeing a lot of my favorite things was nice. Also, the family dynamic is so fun. Harry has two sisters, one who is 15 and one who's 5, and I just loved that dynamic. I like having a positive family, but also liked being able to see Harry as a big brother. I don't see that in books a lot. Usually it is like an older sister or a younger sister, or specifically in YA, it's usually a middle child, so seeing an older brother was cool. Also, Harry works at a bookstore, and I forgot that since I got the pre-order incentives, it came with a bookmark, and the bookmark is for the bookshop that is in the book, so that was really cool. Then I finally read this. It came out last year, and Robby has his sophomore novel out now, so I'm definitely going to pick up a copy. I really enjoyed this, so definitely let me know if you've read it or add it to your TBR if you like everything that I mentioned. And now I have to go and catch my train for Mexico City. Welcome to the kitchen where I'm making some lemonade, and this is my first challenge for myself because every time I finish a book I am either going to have a yellow food, candy, drink, anything like that, or make something. If you're new to my channel, I'm a big baker and I'm just a big foodie. I'm a Taurus, but I just love making things and I love to incorporate food into my reading vlogs. So I am making a lemonade I saw over on TikTok from one of my favorite accounts, Lo Yo-Yo. She has such great recipes, so I'm making her lemonade. It went viral and I have been wanting to make lemonade. So here we are in the kitchen. I have the lemons on the stove right now. I'm making a syrup, and so I am waiting for this to be finished. I am so excited to see how this tastes. As for the reading, I am 15% into my book, and I believe that our main character is supposed to be unlikable. I think this is going to be her character arc and development, is that a lot of things happened in her past that she's going to have to rectify, and it is really all about the past. And so I'm interested to see what happens. I just think it's okay. I don't think I'm going to love this, but I'm still trying to be positive. I don't want to judge the book too much before I read more of it, but so far so good. At 1:30 a.m. my time, the prompt dropped. I am 50% into my book, so I'm going to try to finish it up this morning to get to Mexico and then see where we're going. I checked the Discord and a lot of people are saying something about a person on the cover. Gonna have to find out what this prompt is. Let me get my coffee first. Good morning, happy Monday. I took a shower, I had my coffee, and I am ready to see today's prompt. I'm 60% of the way to Mexico City. I have some work stuff to do, so I'll be reading it during my breaks. But now, let me go over to the Discord and find out where our next city is and what my next read will be.
Welcome to Sao Paulo, Brazil. Sao Paulo is the largest city in Brazil and the 12th largest city in the world, with a population of over 12 million people. Your next clue to getting to Sao Paulo, Brazil is going to be in a book that has 3...
Okay, I was right, and I think I know the perfect book for this because I have an audiobook and I have the physical copy, but I'm going to pick out a couple options. For this, I might fly, but it depends on what my book is. It's the afternoon now, there's some reading sprints going on, so I'm going to engage with them and read more of my book. I'm 64% in, so I'm hoping that these sprints will help me finish it so I can get to Mexico City. And I have determined that my next read will be The Do's and Donuts of Love by Adiba Jagadar. I'm so excited to read this. I have the audiobook from Libro FM's ALC program, and I am just super excited to read this. Unfortunately, there's only yellow on the spine, which doesn't count, but our main character is wearing some yellow, so I thought this would be perfect. And I think I might save this for when I eat a baked good of some sort. I'm thinking some lemon cupcakes or a lemon donut. I'm really craving some donuts, but I want to go to a bakery for that, so I'm gonna save this book for that. That leaves me with needing something for my current read. I'm thinking Lemonheads. I have not had Lemonheads in a while, and I think this would be perfect for this book since it's an enemies to lovers. The lemonade, though, was super good, and I'm excited to make more of it. It was super easy and very good. Now I'm going to head over to the sprints, and hopefully my next clip will be me telling you I've made it to Mexico City. Good morning. It is 10 a.m. on Tuesday. Last night I finished For the Record I Hate You, so I made it to Mexico City. I don't know if I would recommend this. It's very toxic. It is a toxic relationship, and that is what I was really nervous about going into this book, because I saw a review that said this is toxic, and I just didn't want to be in a Colleen Hoover situation. And I didn't know what to expect, but I will say there was a lot of development, more so on the guy's end than the girl. So our female protagonist, she doesn't have a lot of growth. And while I was reading and trying to predict what would happen at the end and what I wanted, I said, I don't really want to see her grow, but then there was a lot of shit that she did. It was very abusive and toxic, and I didn't like it. Basically, she breaks his record player at the beginning of their breakup kind of situation. The sole reason of them being enemies to lovers is that they're enemies to lovers is because they had sex, and then she never heard from him again, but there's context. It wasn't what she thought, and I usually hate miscommunication in these situations because I'm like, context clues. Like, there's a sole reason why. It's not what she thought, and they just didn't talk to each other, so basically, his brother died the night that they had sex, and then a lot of shit happened in his life, and he just went to college, and then shit happened, you know? Though, I will say, he should have, like, talked to her, right? But there's not an exact way to grieve, right? You can't fault somebody for grieving, but it does make sense that he shouldn't have pushed people away, but he was going through a lot of shit. Honestly, it was more so she was like, I was 18, I didn't know how to help you in this situation, and it was just a mess. There's a running joke throughout this whole book. 45 times this is mentioned. On the day that he left for college, she broke his record player. It was his beloved record player. I had mentioned this when I first started reading the book, that I was like, why is she so pressed over this record player? This book is set in the 2020s, I believe, so it's like, you could just go and get a new one. And I understand it being like your prized possession, you can't find another one, right? And so she does buy him the record player. I said because this record player was mentioned so many times. The one time it was mentioned 8 times in one chapter. I was getting infuriated because I was like, I do not care about this record player. There's a line that says the record player can be repaired, but their relationship can't. And at the end of the book, when they're having like a fighting match and she ends up breaking his piano, and then they start having sex afterward, and I'm like, dude, I'm sorry, but if someone broke my piano, I would be out of there in a second. First you broke my record player, now you broke my piano. What is the problem with you breaking all of my musical things? It's weird. And I just still am under the impression that they should not be together. I was really sad at the end because I was like, these two could just work on themselves. Now, Derek says he's going to grief counseling and getting a grief therapist, which I think is amazing. I feel like you never really see the guy have a good arc like that, but it really showed that Eliza was the villain. However, Derek did have shit that he did, but I really have never seen a book like that before, and I kind of wish this is what Beach Read had. I just had a little bit of a problem with Beach Read because it was mismarketed to me, and it was just heavier than I thought, and I just didn't care for the romance. I wasn't sold on it. I just felt like there were two people that do not need somebody at the moment. And that's how I feel here, is that they could have just been friends. I don't think they need to be romantic partners because both of them are dealing with a lot of shit. And you see that Eliza actually realizes this. However, she does say, like, I'm the villain. She had her I'm the problem, it's me moment, but then she starts breaking things, and I just don't understand why she couldn't have also had a good arc like that. I was really waiting for Derek to say, hey, I'm actually going to therapy, and her be like, cool, I'm actually going to do the same thing. And she didn't, so I'm confused. But honestly, I'm really happy to see that a guy is going to therapy. I think that that's really positive representation in romance. I do not see that ever. However, I just don't think I would recommend this. Obviously, you can make your own choices, but I don't think I would recommend this. Just because it's toxic and there is some character development, like I said, but honestly, I just don't think it's a good idea to read a romance with a toxic relationship, especially when, like, they get together at the end, and you're like, wait, this is not a good idea here. Especially because you get a happily ever after where they're together, and I just don't like that, especially when they get together at the end. I cannot get past that, and I cannot recommend a book that has a toxic relationship and them be happy at the end. Like, I understand that this is what can happen sometimes in toxic relationships, but I think as an author, when you're writing a toxic relationship, you need to state that it's toxic. What I would have liked to see is like an epilogue of maybe like 5 years down the road, they are back together, right? That would be totally fine if they've like worked their shit out, right? But I just cannot recommend a book that has toxic romance. Like I said, you can do whatever you want, but I just cannot recommend this book because it's toxic, and if I had to hear about a record player being smashed 45 times, I think I did you a service. Anyway, I started the Do's and Donuts of Love this morning, and while I was eating my breakfast, we got a Detour, and this is everything I have been waiting for. This is my challenge. This is to earn your team some points. It's not required, but I have to hit a generator, and whichever coffee I get, I have to recommend a book based on it. So I will be making like an Instagram graphic, and I'll also share it here, but I'm gonna go and do all of that. So let's see what I get. Got a haircut, just finished up the Do's and Donuts of Love, and I loved this. Definitely going in my best books of the year. I loved this so much. Adiba Jagadar is just great. I know that she is an award-winning author, but I just feel like she's so underrated. This was so good, so definitely go and pick it up. It just came out this year. I believe it came out in June, and I am just so glad I got a chance to read it. The audio was good as well, and now I'm going to treat myself with some donuts. This does talk about fat phobia, so big trigger warning for that. There's racism. And I just thought this was really sweet. It was sweet despite some of the hard topics, and I just really liked everything that went into this book and how it was created. And our main character, Shirin, she is dealing with a bad breakup with her ex-girlfriend, Chris, who is the daughter of another donut shop, so they are rivals. It's also filled with queer joy, which I love. If you want more book recommendations for books about queer baking, I have a whole reading vlog where I read 3 queer books about baking, and I also made some things, so that'll be up above. But if you want a book about queer joy set on a baking show, I highly recommend this. I really love this for the behind the scenes because there's a lot of drama that goes on, and I just thought this was great. Shirin also has a lot of flaws. I really like seeing Shirin's character grow because she is very defensive, she's quick to accuse people of things, but her best friend Fatima, she is there to save Shirin in her darkest moments, and she's like, let's not do this. Maybe we're not right here. And I really liked her. So this was great. Honestly, it's definitely a book I would love to reread. Highly recommend it if you are looking to pick it up. It just came out in June, I believe. And I'm glad I got a chance to finally read it. Now I'm going to treat myself with a donut. I have been wanting this lemon donut since I did some research for a bakery around me. They're like a donut shop. They also have like coffee and things like that, but mainly donuts. They have this lemon crumb donut I found, and I'm so glad I got a chance to pick one up. So this means I have made it safely to Sao Paulo. There's been a lot of storms here, so the storm has stopped my flight to get there, but I made it all in one piece, and now I will celebrate with a donut, and then I have to head over to London. The vlog will stop here, but let's check out this donut. It just looks amazing. I'm so excited to eat this. There's lemon inside. Like, there's a lemon icing and there's lemon inside. It's actually incredible. That lemon donut was self-care. That was so good. Like, honestly, I might be going there every week just to get that. Like, I wish I could get a whole dozen of just that. It's so good. Oh my god. Everything that I was hoping it would be. I'm so glad. That was the best way to celebrate. And what a great way to end this vlog. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments what your favorite color is. Mine are red, orange, and now yellow. I mean, I guess I could always say yellow was one of my favorite colors, but I grew up having the color yellow when I was a baby. Yellow was my color. My room is yellow. Thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you as always to my patrons for supporting me. And if you want to watch more, you can click here. Hit subscribe for more queer content and videos like this. And I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.